We love Legends of Tomorrow, and you should too. Today we're going to be talking about Hawkman because he just got cast on our favorite television show, Legends of Tomorrow. Now, Carter Hall is a confusing and convoluted individual, just like the entire Hawk individual lineup. He first appeared in Flash Comics #1 and was a featured character throughout the 40s. Carter Hall was an adventurer that discovered the mysterious ninth metal that would allow him to fly. So he took on a costume that contained large wings so that he could control his flight and became a crime fighter named Hawkman. Since he was an archaeologist by trade, he used the weapons from the ancient Egyptians that he curated. He was also a founding member of the Justice Society, and he was a reincarnation of an ancient Egyptian prince. As with most Golden Age superheroes, he vanished when comics were going away from superheroes, only to return with the Silver Age. This time, he was an alien policeman from the planet of Thanagar, a planet full of Hawk people. This time, he was named Qatar Hall, this time spelling it Katarhol, and came to this planet with his wife Shiera. They took the name Carter and Shira Hall and became curators at a museum in Midway City. Just like the Flashes and Green Lanterns, eventually Qatar Hall met the originator Carter Hall in the many crossover events of Earth 1 and Earth 2. Once the Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, things got a bit weird for poor Hawkman. Originally, they used the pre-Crisis versions, but eventually, DC said enough of this and did a full reboot of the character, claiming that his homeworld of Thanagar was actually a world of conquerors, and they went from world to conquer them. Qatar Hall, which was the second Hawkman on the pre-Crisis Earth, came to Earth as the second Hawkman, as writers tried to correct the fact that they used the original Carter Hall recently. It was explained that the ninth metal that the original Carter Hall used was from the planet of Thanagar. To make matters more interesting, both Hawkmen were merged into a Hawk God character, and it just made things so complicated that DC literally shut the entire book down and tried to forget about Hawkman for a while because of how complicated he had become. And now that we have filled your head with all of this complicated old Hawkman knowledge, forget it, because now we are going into the two current Hawkmen. In the late 90s, he was finally brought back as Carter Hall the original with his wife Shira. They had been reincarnated dozens of times ever since their lives in ancient Egypt. In ancient times, their Egyptian counterparts were captured and killed with ninth metal, the same metal from the Hawk people homeworld of Thanagar. Whenever the reincarnated version of Carter Hall touches the ninth metal, he gets all of his previous lives' memories, and the ninth metal allows him to fly. The same applies to his former wife and their assailant from the old days. Now, some versions of this story also state that Carter Hall and Shira are cursed and unable to actually be together. Their curse forces them to seek each other out, but once they find each other, one of them is destined to die, and their reincarnation process starts over again. This is the version that shows up most often in the movies and cartoons, but there is still yet another version of Hawkman that this Carter Hall could possibly be. Don't you just love how crazy Hawk people lore is? So in the New 52, we were reintroduced to Qatar Hall, the second one that started with the letter K, and his original lore is back in place. So he's a policeman from the Hawk people homeworld of Thanagar, and has a wife named Shiera. He took the name Carter Hall, and is the one we deal with in the current timeline for comics. So are you confused? Because we sure are. Which version of Carter Hall do you think they'll be running with for the show? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Dan with CTV, and I'll see you guys next time, right here.